What's going on there, monkeys? Welcome to the next episode of George Amusement Park here at Coaster Monkey Studios. I had to think about that for a second. Where we are building a realistic American amusement park in Planet Coaster. And yes, that is correct. The opening credits did change for this episode. Why did they change for this episode? Well, because we are building our coaster. Our very first coaster in the park, so be excited. Super stoked on this one. Can't wait to get this one going here for you guys. But first, let's not forget to welcome anybody who may be a new viewer. Welcome to Coaster Monkey Studios. If you've not been here before, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that fun little bell so you get notifications as to when we've got new videos coming out. And for those of you that have been here before, welcome back. Yeah, so we just celebrated our 1,500 subscribers. Yes, I said that right. 1,500 subscribers. Oh my God. Wow. So thankful for you guys. So amazing. Cannot express enough. If you haven't had a chance to check out the 1,500 subscriber live stream, I'll put a link up top to the 1,500 subs live stream that we did. It was fun. It was a little bit of a hiccup. It was the first live stream I had ever done, ever. So it was a little bit of one of those like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing moments. Yes, there was a lot of that. But no, it turned out pretty good. We did a little bit of building. I'll tell you, it's very odd to build while people are watching you. It's something I think I'm going to need to get used to, most definitely. But yeah, so if you've made it this far into the video, I'm going to say make sure you stick around to the end because I've got an awesome roller coaster POV for you guys and a ton of ridiculously sickening glamour shots of the coaster that you guys definitely have to check out. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the video today and how we ended up building a roller coaster. So as you see, what I did there is I was just wrapping up our fence and gate work coming out of the tunnel, and then started placing down some rides. Why am I doing this? Why am I placing rides so early in the park without like anything else going on? Well, what we're doing here is we're planning out the overall structure of the park. What is the park going to look like? We're starting to think about what type of park is this going to be. We know that Canopy Lake in real life, IRL, is a very flat centric park. So that's what we're going after. We're going after that same ideology. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of selecting the type of flats that I want to have in the park and giving them a roundabout placement of where I think they're going to end up in the overall park itself, right? And my thought process in this is let's put them down, let's lay out the path, almost like, and I've said this before, like a pencil sketch, like you would prior to painting on a canvas. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We needed now, and this is where the coaster comes in, we need to place the coaster because the coaster is an integral part of building out this entire parking lot. Right. And a lot of what I got from this comes from Canopy Lake. Like one of my big loves of that park was the fact that as you're getting out of your car and you're walking towards the main entrance, you look over to your right, and at the very edge of the parking lot is this gorgeous heritage coaster. Now, if you don't know much about heritage coasters or what a heritage coaster is, we're talking about like original to the park, one of those coasters that just has all of the nostalgia, has been taken care of. Now this coaster at Canopy Lake, it's called the Yankee Cannonball. It's a PTC, a Philadelphia Toboggan Company, Philadelphia Toboggan Coaster. I may have just screwed that up. It's PTC. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, guys, or if I just screwed that up big time. And I apologize to PTC if I screwed your name up. And I can't believe I did that because I literally, I love their coasters. I'm a heritage coaster guy. But yeah, so PTC, look up PTC on the roller coaster database. And again, if you don't know what the roller coaster database is, definitely check that out. But PTC, there's not many left in the world. There's only about 20 or so from what I saw that are currently still operating. PTC is known for not only for their coasters, but they're also known for carousels And that's why we went with the vintage carousel and a vintage coaster for this park, because again, I'm a heritage guy. I love heritage coasters, and that's kind of where how this came about. But yeah, so going back to heritage coasters, so my home park, Six Flags Great Adventure, I love the park. It's got some of the most innovative, some of the craziest, most exciting coasters I've ever been on, but it's kind of scrubbed a lot of its heritage out of the park. Rolling Thunder, which was this awesome dueling wooden coaster, they demolished. And I'm just like, what? So I had to build a park with a heritage coaster. So that's what you're seeing here on screen. This is not an exact replica, but this is the closest version that I could figure out how to make in Planet Coaster. Because again, remember, I've only been playing the game for 8 months, right? 9 months now that we're in March. But I wanted to create a heritage coaster. Right, so I think this is maybe like the 15th coaster I've ever built in this game, if that. So yeah, there's that. But all right, so going back to this, so we're building this coaster out. If you don't know much about it, I've got a little bit of a history when it comes to building coasters. I made a coaster for the Nexus Discord contest called House of a Thousand Corpses. It was a GCI Woody completely supported wooden coaster that I did for this contest, and I don't know how I did it, because it was literally my first time ever building a wooden coaster, and B, how the hell I managed to support the whole thing. Now, granted, it was over-supported a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but it looked prettier with the over-supporting, in my opinion. And you know me, I'm all about the looks, right? So that's where the history and my skill set comes with wooden coasters. And that's why, again, I love the idea of the heritage coasters. That's why we created this particular park. I love this coaster. I love being able to stand in the parking lot and look over and see this coaster just in the background. So that's what you see me trying to figure out here, is how do I get this coaster as close as possible to Yankee Cannonball, right? Because again, I still don't know how to do a replica of a coaster. I mean, I've seen videos. I think we've all seen videos of replicas of coasters at this point, right? But I really wanted to make as close to it, get as close to it as I can, because I just love this park. I love this coaster. I mean, when I tell you well taken care of, this thing was borderline smooth as butter. And we're talking about a coaster that was built in 1923. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to replicate. I'm trying to replicate that heritage and that vibe, and that's what I'm going after for this coaster. So as you see here, there's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of fiddling, with angles. It's a lot of fiddling with the degree of the drop and the ascent coming in and out of the airtime hills. It doesn't get a lot of speed either. I think its max speed is only 43 miles an hour, if I'm correct. And its average speed is like high 20s. You know what I mean? There's a long brake run at the end. But again, it's what you would see typically on a vintage or a heritage coaster. And I think about the 1920s and the fact that this was made in the early 1920s, this coaster in real life. It's a marvel to me. It's not a modern marvel, but it's a marvel to me. It's amazing to me that they were able to create it. And not kill anyone, to be honest with you, without computers. I find that absolutely fantastic. And that's why I think heritage coasters are so important. If your park has a heritage coaster, I'm gonna put it out there. Kudos to you. You are very fortunate, because there are not many heritage coasters left in the world. And when I looked at the list of PTCs left in the United States, I mean, I was kind of blown away at some of them, because I didn't know they were PTC coasters to start. But then I went back and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, wow, I've ridden most of these. And I got pretty excited, But yeah, so typically, it's just up and down or out and back. No crazy curves, there's no block section, right? There's no real kind of like a brake run. If you think of like the Comet, for instance, at Hershey Park, Another really great coaster. You guys should definitely check that out. Not smooth as butter, almost. It's got so much padding in the cars, it reminds me of the Cyclone at Coney Island, where there's more padding than I have on my mattress. So it's just so interesting. But yeah, so the Cannonball is another really great coaster, and this is an element that has, look at this brake run, right? So you've got this, 1 or 2 degree, maybe 2 degree or 3 degree. I think this is a 3 degree descent. And you're going to get a full POV at the end, by the way. But there's like a 2 or 3 degree descent going into that brake run, and then it curves right into the station. It's in real life, the coaster only has 1 train. So I think I'm going to bring this down to 1 train operation and kind of build that out. But as you can see, it sits right on the parking lot. So IRL, where this little niche, where this hole is in the middle of the coaster, that's where you're going to find the employee parking lot. We kind of reiterated that ideology behind the layout, but we expanded on it. We gave it a little bit more embellishment because, again, we're not doing an exact replica. We're doing Canopy Lake Park as if I owned it. Okay, and that's kind of what we're going after. All these buildings here, all these gray boxes that you're seeing, these are all employee buildings. So those 2 buildings on the left next to the coaster, those are employee buildings. And then the facades, there's an awesome street facade that they build with all roll down gates. And that's like arcades and food installations and all that stuff. So that's what's going to be going in there when we get to building that portion of the park. That's a long ways away, though. You guys haven't even gotten into the parking lots yet. And I think I'm just wrapping up the parking lots now, I think, at this point. But going back to kind of this stuff over here. So now we're looking at the rides that we've got. We're trying to kind of plan out what our pathways are going to look like and our queues. None of this is set in stone. Again, this is all pencil sketching, right? So we're kind of trying to lay this out and see, what the layout of the park is going to look like. There's going to be terrain gradients, starting around where I'm built out, that path that I just built out, and it's going to start dipping down towards eventually where there's going to be a massive lake. And it's going to be just a gradient walking down from the main entrance down towards the lake. There's going to be a lot of height variations as well. There's actually one area just behind, across from Yankee Cannonball, or the Yankee Cannonball replica, and to the right of the stage that I just built that you guys saw last week. For me, it's coming out this Saturday, but for you guys, it'll be last week's episode of a Blueprint series. And that stage and that whole area behind it is a kiddie area. And then there's like a cutoff and a ledge that goes down. And you can kind of see an overlook into the area behind you, which is pretty cool. And that area essentially is where like the lakefront is and where they have the, splashdown ride. And there's, 2 huge show buildings back there as well, which is all, again, really cool setup. So if you've not heard me mention it before, I'll mention it again. Canopy Lake has 4 car rides. No, I'm not kidding you. 4. So we're going to do our best to link up with the ideology behind it, right? Because it's a flat-centric park, right? It's all about the kiddie rides, very kiddie-oriented. And that's what we went after. So this car ride goes through a couple iterations. It's probably going to change again before we actually finalize it with detailing and whatever quote-unquote theming it is going to have, because there's not going to be much. You know what I mean? There really isn't much theming for these rides. I mean, we rode one of the 4 when we were at Canopy, and you're literally driving a car through grass and like a stop sign and maybe a tree, and that's it. There's nothing. There's no theming whatsoever. So we're going to do our best to mimic that kind of really stale, bland kind of quote unquote theming without actually mimicking it, or without actually theming it. It's going to feel alive, but it's not going to have a theme. There's going to be a lot that goes into it, but there's not going to be a lot of theming. That's the way I want to put it. So, yeah, don't mind all that rambling. That was a lot of rambling just to say that we're going to make a car ride with no theming. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah. Car rides. Woohoo! So speaking of the Blueprint series, if you guys haven't got a chance to check that out, I'll put a link up top to the playlist for the Blueprint series. It's going really well. You guys seem to be enjoying it. It's been fun. I'm not gonna lie. Making it. Last week's episode was cool. This week's episode is gonna be awesome. As of recording this right now, I have no idea what I'm making for the video this coming Saturday for you guys. So that's gonna be fun to kind of figure out. Maybe I'll put out a poll. I seem to be doing a lot of polls on the channel, community channel lately. So this has been interesting. So as we built this out, and you're probably wondering why I just brought over one of our ticket booths to this area to make a parking booth. And my mentality for this, I don't know if you remember me talking about this previously. The building this took me 2.5 hours. Why did it take me 2.5 hours if I'm copying and pasting? Well, it's the sign, and you're going to see why the sign took so long in a moment. But when we get to this point, I really was thinking still about building continuity and structure continuity, and that's why I decided to take the information booths or the ticket booths, quote unquote, from our main entrance and bring them over to the parking lot booths. I wanted that continuity because I wanted to feel like you're entering, just like the way you're entering the park is the same way you're entering the parking lot. You've got that same vibe going along with it. And I know I say vibe a lot. I've been told by one of my followers, one of you guys, that I say vibe a lot. I'm going to do my best not to say vibe a lot. I think I just said vibe like 9 times. All right, take a shot every time I say the V word. So anyway, going back to this. So I wanted to keep the building continuity. And I think I achieved it pretty well. And this is where the challenge came in, building this sign. This sign took me a good 1.5 hours just on the sign alone, because it's all hydro pieces. Trying to find the actual sign, this sign here that has the 2 phrases on the left and right, that would be just the right size was, headache. Like, that was me fast forwarding. That was about 30 seconds of times 10 speed video. So that was like a good 5 minutes of me looking for a sign that's gonna be the right size. But we found one, and we utilized this one here in both the left and right side, and then we mimic the archway that we have in the main entrance that we still have not yet put any wording on, right? We're gonna get all that done before this gets handed over to Nerd Chacho. But that's gonna be happening for me in the next couple weeks. I've been working on, slowly but surely, little by little, finishing up the parking lot and kind of getting everything ironed up and ready to go for that, while I work on another project, a little secret project that you guys are going to find out at a later date. It's going to be really cool. But yeah, so this took me like 1.5 hours. For those of you that don't know much about hydro beams, they're hitbox. Because they're so tiny, they're not made for the game, right? They're made for the game, but the game isn't made for them, I should say. And their hitboxes are off center. So when you go to spin them, their center, the center of the item is not the center of the item, if that makes any sense. So you've got to spin them around 180 if you wanted to do like a 360 degree turn. So you're going to see what I do here. Watch. I think I just did it there, where I took it and I flipped it and then leveled them out, and then I created the circle with it. It's because the hitboxes are off center, and that's the only way you're going to get a proper circle. But it worked out. Thank you up above, universe. You're amazing for helping me out with that, because that was a headache. But yeah, so what we're doing is we're creating this cool little archway. It's the intention is to match the main entrance arch. And just kind of greets our guests when they're first driving into the parking lot with, just the park name and just fun isms, I've always said that I made this channel and I build on YouTube for fun. It's not about the followers. It's not about the It's not about the notoriety. It's about fun. I'm just here for fun, guys. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you guys are enjoying, for those of you that are. So we're here just for fun. And you know what? Boom. That is the Coaster Monkey Studios mantra. Coaster Monkey Studios, just for fun. I love it. Fantastic. And yes, it's also the same exact thing that's on the gate at Canopy Lake. So maybe that's why I vibe with the park so much. Oh, I said the V word. Damn it. Shucks, man. I'm so sorry. Darn V word. So if you haven't had a chance to, if you like my Planet Coaster videos, I would suggest checking out the Planet Zoo videos as well. It's another series on my channel. It's the same company that makes Planet Coaster, for those that don't know. I mean, at this point, if you don't know that, I'm here to educate you. But, so the Planet Zoo videos, awesome. I'll put a link up top right now for you to check out those videos. I mean, they're just fun. Me futzing around with the game. It's definitely interesting, you know. There's this running joke now with a friend of mine that he just logs into my videos to watch me fail. So if you guys enjoy watching me fail, then that is a series for you, let me tell you. But yeah, so we finished up our entrance. Look at that. I love it. It looks awesome. It mimics our main entryway arch. And we turned it into a blueprint. So if you want, let me know in the comments below if you want this blueprint to go on the workshop. I'll put this blueprint, but let me know in the comments below if you guys want this blueprint. I will definitely set it up for you guys. And I think the biggest challenge I ran into here is I wanted to have the pricing on the front, but what I wound up doing, I thought this was fun, I just, again, keeping the same ideology, took the message boards that we have in our main entryway plaza and I put them here. So now these are going to have the pricing and everything for parking, and like the pricing for the park itself, ticket prices. I feel like this is like the thing that they would do, right? I mean, yeah. Color me questioning everything. And no parking lot box would be complete without some windows. I just threw those on there again. Continuity, the same windows we used on the main entrance. And boom. I think I did lighting all the way around. I don't remember. No, I don't think I did. But we did close this off. Now, this is a good blueprint for you guys, or a good workshop piece for you guys. Now, remember we were talking about the gates, these little gates here from Knott's Berry Farm. That is a full-size gate. So I'll throw that link down bottom for you guys as well, so you have it. Because, I mean, again, that entire collection is just fantastic. All the Knott's entryway stuff. And what made this super easy, we were just able to just throw this over here. And now we have continuity, building continuity on both sides. But as we wrap up this video, guys, I'm going to leave you with some glamour shots of our coaster. And stick around because we've got a coaster POV at the very end. So make sure you watch that. But thank you so much, guys, for joining in this week's episode of Lake George Amusement Park. You guys are awesome. I cannot stress enough how absolutely thankful I am for every single one of you that watch my videos. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys next time here at Coaster Monkey Studios. Thanks for watching.